little fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. We're on weekdays, 11:45 Eastern. Follow us on Spreaker.com and click on the like button. Socialism, from the mouth of someone who's actually experienced it firsthand. In this piece from Fox Friends February 7, you will hear from a Cuban American whose parents escaped from Cuba. She will actually tell you how it really is. Here's the problem for me. Yes, as usual, I will say it plain, because it has to be that way. She mentions what I call a communist member of the House of Representatives, the one from New York, Cortez. She says, and I quote, "I'm sure she has great intentions, that she wants to do the best for the country, but she has no idea what she is advocating for," unquote. I disagree. I disagree vehemently. I believe she has every idea. She has a communist agenda for the United States. I played the other day a clip on episode January 22nd. I think this applies here also. Here's a reminder. I will play the clip, which is from the 50s, and then the current one, and you decide.
I think we should keep in mind when we refer to Democrats, when we refer to the administration, that there are definitely two groups of Democrats as of today. Number one, there are the millions of loyal Americans who have voted the Democrat ticket. Individuals who are just as loyal, who hate communism just as much, and love America just as much as the average Republican. That's one group. On the other hand, there is that small, closely knit group of administration Democrats who are now the complete prisoners and under the complete domination of the bureaucratic, communistic Frankenstein which they themselves have created. Ladies and gentlemen, they shouldn't be called that administration Democrat Party. To call them Democrats is an insult to the millions of loyal American Democrats. They shouldn't be called Democrats. They should be referred to properly as the Commie-Crap Party.
We renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
Well, at least half of the chamber stood up for that, and our next guest knows firsthand what could happen if Democratic Socialists get their way. Her parents are Cuban political refugees.
All right, here is joining us now is former Florida GOP House candidate Maria Elvira Salazar. Maria, do you think the president was simplifying things too much when he said that, or is there legitimate concern in this country that people don't understand where we're heading?
Oh, thank you. He should have said more. What do you mean? He should have said more. We have to be very concerned that one of the major parties, political parties in this country, is trying to glorify the benefits of socialism. Socialism is one of the most perverse and evil systems that the human race has ever known, besides slavery. So what are you telling me? So when I hear people like Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez saying that we got to create democratic socialism, I mean, democratic socialism, that's a pretty word that they're putting in front of something. Socialism, just trying to cover up the miseries and the problems that socialism brings to people.
Maria, 40% of Democrats say that it's a good idea. So what is your message to them? What does socialism really look like?
Listen, they drank the Kool-Aid. And I am not mincing words. I live in Miami, where we have millions and millions of Venezuelans, Cubans, Nicaraguans who escaped that system. The history is right there for you to see.
But what does it look like? Give us
examples. Takes away. I'm going to give you an example. Socialism takes away or destroys the concept that you reap what you sow. It destroys the concept that you are responsible for your actions. It destroys those who want to produce wealth for the benefit of society, takes it away from them, and gives that wealth to those who did not earn it or deserve it. Socialism only does is destroy the human being, destroys the soul and the initiative of doing anything. Because if you give everything to somebody, then that person doesn't want to really do anything. And that is so that's what I'm saying. They drank the Kool-Aid. And when I hear that the new face of the Democratic Party is Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, I repeat, I'm sure she has great intentions, that she really wants the best for the country, but she has no idea what she's really advocating for. She drank the Kool-Aid, just like Bernie Sanders, the senator, said a few years ago that Venezuela had created the socialist paradise.
But, and I understand your point of view, Maria, but speaking of Bernie Sanders, one of the reasons he was so popular in 2016 running for president, right on the heels of Hillary Clinton, was the fact that there were so many Americans who don't have anything. And they like his message. You know what? You don't have health care? We're going to get you health care. You can't go to college? We're going to get you into college. We're going to give you all these things that a wealthy nation like ours should be able to provide for you. So I don't know if it's so much drinking the Kool-Aid as much as it is there are a lot of people who need stuff, and that message is very potent for them.
And I agree with you. And being capitalist and conservative does not mean being cruel. We want to help the poor. We want to help people to go to school. But we got to give them the opportunity to do it. That's the most capitalism can do for you. Level the playing field so you can have the same chances on opportunity as anybody else to make it. And if you're in need, we're going to give you temporary aid until you get out of need. But the moment you start giving handouts, and it was proven during the Great Society in Lyndon B. Johnson, the more you give handouts, the more you make them parasites of society, then the less they do. And unless they come out of that state, which is really bad for the human soul. So I'm not saying that we're being cruel. I'm not saying that we got to help people. I'm not saying that everybody deserves health care. But we got to see who is going to pay for it. How is the system going to be able to provide it without taking the incentive from those that produce the wealth to create that wealth in order to give to those people that are in need.
Maria,
Remember that one. Yes, 1% of the country, this country, pays 99% of the taxes.
Now that was back in the 50s, the first one you were listening to. Has America learned anything? It seems not, doesn't it? Today they call themselves democratic socialists, but it's the same wolf in sheep's clothing that they hide in. They hide in plain sight, no longer afraid to hide their true thoughts and ideals. No longer afraid to say what they believe in and what their goals for America really are. Don't make excuses for them. They are telling you what they really believe. Believe them. Really believe them. And that's my comment. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab and email. You can now find us on Spotify. Just go to the podcast section and type Canadian Politics with a Twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.